Hello everyone, hope you are well on a Saturday afternoon. Now I have to say this up front, we look pretty rough today because we've been out in the yard all day. I've been doing landscaping. Mrs. Dog is relaxing back there in the hammock right now with Ella. Mrs. Dog was doing some harvesting, some of the stuff in the, mostly potatoes. We're getting some squash too, as well. Zucchini are on the way, among other things. So Mrs. Dog's been hard at work in the garden. I've been doing a lot of landscaping stuff around the yard, front, back, sides. Anyway, so I believe people are going to get, well, I think people are already desperate, taking desperate measures. Crime is going to increase. It's already increasing, seeing waves and waves. I'll give an example of how people are getting desperate with scams and such. We need to be careful on scams. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but I'm going to give a really alarming example of how quickly that can happen. But I believe that, and it just looks like we're falling into two different classes. You have the haves, which you could call it the rich or the haves, and they haven't been really impacted by this. Maybe they will be by all the inflation and the shortages and such. They don't seem to be impacted at all. I know the top 1% I'm sure aren't, but even below the 1%, you've got people who are very comfortable still, and they're not going to be impacted, and they haven't been affected yet. And then you've got the opposite of that, where you have people really hurting. You have people hurting bad, and that's going to get much worse. It really is. And as that happens, people get close to a tipping point, and they get desperate and unpredictable and dangerous. People will become dangerous. Okay, you have those two categories, I believe, forming right now. In the middle, you have people in the middle, and I think that's shrinking. You have people in the middle that are surviving fine, still relatively comfortable, but we're certainly feeling it pretty hard right now, and it's affecting the ability to buy other things, like I mentioned yesterday, and it's also impacting the ability to save money, retirement, 401k. Look what's going on. The stock market is tanking. So we have to try to be flexible and adapt, I guess is the best word to say. But that's becoming more difficult, and it's going to get tougher. So the folks in the middle have it rough as well. Not as bad as the have-nots or the ones who are really struggling. It's going to get much worse for them as well. That's just, I'm not an economist, never will be. I'm not a financial advisor, nothing like that. But that's just my dog observations. Okay. But we will survive, won't we? We will survive. People are getting desperate. There was a question on social media that I saw the other day that said, the question was, do you fear that people who are not preparing are going to try to steal from you, or will steal from you, the ones who are prepared or preparing? And yeah, I think that's a real concern. Absolutely they'll try. I mean, if you have any doubt about human nature, especially when they get desperate and if they haven't been preparing, just think, go back to, I don't know, pick any year, Black Friday, okay, for Thanksgiving. Those sales, think back on those videos you've seen in the news of people rushing the stores on Black Friday in the morning, fighting over Tickle Me Elmos, fighting people in stores over the latest electronic iPhone. Pick one, you know, any big present that's popular that day, you know, that year rather. Tickle Me Elmo, I don't know why that just came to mind, but But think about that and how they were fighting, and you know, just like they lost all humanity. So if you have any doubts of what'll happen in a real emergency, a widespread emergency, there you go. All right, that's the way I look at it. All right. I believe people talking about food shortages. I believe the real shortage, food shortage, especially here in the United States, in most places in the United States, depending on location and your situation. I believe it'll mostly be a situation where it's not affordable, therefore it is a shortage. Okay. Now, we need to be careful of scams, because that's going to increase. People are going to get desperate. They're going to try all kinds of crap on you. Okay. You see these texts, you see these phone calls all the time, people trying to get personal information from you. Be extra careful right now about giving out any personal information, social security card, your age, date of birth, your date of birth, any personal, your address, anything like that. Full name, stay away from that. Don't even answer the phone on these marketing when you see that it's a call that could be a scam. These texts, we're getting a lot of text asking for this stuff. Don't even respond, just get rid of it, delete it, and block the number. Best thing you can do. I've gotten a lot of them lately. You get stuff in the mail too, scams in the mail. Now get this, now somebody emailed me and told me, now this wasn't their daughter, but it was a friend of theirs daughter. Daughter's 17 years old. Now this family was vacationing. This was in Gulf Shores, Alabama, staying at a condo. The daughter, 17, decides to take the family Suburban out to get a couple of things. She's coming back to the condo. She's trying to park. She's having trouble parking the thing because it's, the Suburban is a huge vehicle. She's used to driving a smaller car, so she's having trouble parking it. So she calls Dad. Hey, I'm having a little trouble. Can you just come and help me? He's not very far away. But in the meantime, while the dad is on the way, there's a woman in a car next to the space she's trying to park in that's offering to help her get parked. So what happens is the lady, luckily the dad arrives, but the lady starts turning and fussing at the 17-year-old, claiming that she's damaged her car. Suburban didn't make contact with that car, but the lady's claiming it did, and demanding that the 17-year-old Venmos her $200 so they can keep the police out of it. Get that, right? Luckily Dad arrives and takes care of that situation. And but they said it really turned into something. I mean, the dad had to really, they got really heated. The woman and some man arrives too that's on the woman's side, and they start acting all belligerent, and they get security involved there at the condo. Finally, the woman, they go away, thank goodness. But that's how quickly it can happen. Now, obviously she was targeting a young driver, but this can happen to any driver. You got to be alert to such foolishness, even at a place like that, at a condo, and you're on vacation, trying to relax. So we need to be careful. Parking lots, no matter where you are, be careful of that stuff. All right. This dog, I'll wave. Is Ella back there? Huh? Hey, say hello. Anyway, that was just an example of a scam. There's so many out there. Like I said, the texting and the calls and stuff like that. So, share your thoughts. Okay, almost forgot. A good verse. Verse for today is Isaiah chapter 43 verse 2 says, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. the flames will not set you ablaze. Now, it's comforting. Let's keep that in mind, that when you have God, what can humans do to you? True, we may we go through some trials, and we may go through tribulations, and we may suffer some. We may suffer. However, in the end, we win. You know, we know who wins, and we have that promise of eternal life. Hold on to that. Keep that in mind. Let's be aware out there. Be safe. Keep stacking. Keep praying. We need to pray. All right. God bless you. I'll see you soon.